Hey quest givers, welcome to another episode, and today we're going to talk about how to give out magic items in your game. It may seem like an easy thing, but really it's something you should consider and think about.
If you're looking for adventure, grab the modules each month to support the channel and play the campaign with your gaming group. You're sure to get hooked on adventure.
What would be the first topic you'd like to bring up, Gareth?
Well, first of all, you should go and buy our modules to help support the making of this content.
Hey, that's a great idea. I like that idea.
And if you're not willing to make that commitment at this point, sign up for our email newsletter on the website questgivers.com, and you'll be able to get access to more of these videos and extra little content that we put out, and hopefully that will lead you to purchase later on. But we're not going to pester you, so don't worry about that. But talking about pestering, players continue to pester. I want more magic items. Give me more magic items, Scotty. But what are magic items actually for? The reason why players want magic items is because they advance their character. So, they're waiting to gain their experience to level up, and we have a whole video on different types of leveling and how, leveling up your character advancement. But there's a subset of that, and magic items is a subset of that. Magic items are a way for a player to level up their character in specific skills, disciplines, weapon skills, etc., in order to make their character better. So it's a bonus between levels. But so you need to then consider, what is the mechanism behind this? That's one part of it. So how does this sort of change the way the game works?
It's something I give a lot of thought to, right? I'm not a fan, and for that reason, I'm not a fan of random tables. I think random tables can help you if you're just stumped and you want to see what the table gives, but I don't like to use tables at the table because it's like just some random item just feels weird to give it to a player, and maybe it's not what their vision of the character. So I like to give stuff that kind of their vision of the character, right? And then in game, what I do is I use it as, kind of story rewards and rewards at the end of a quest and that kind of thing for completing something. I like to give it out that way. And so just giving some random junk to a person just seems like kind of a cop-out. I want to help them reinforce their character, right? And so I try to think of items that they would like and reasons that they could get that item. So you can build that into a game. There's nothing wrong with rolling on the table if that's the way you just want a totally random game, like kind of you're just going around and the players are like in a totally off the hook game. If you just want to do that, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But me personally, I like reinforcing the themes of the story and the ideals that the characters have for themselves. I think that just you're playing into the fun of the game for the players, and the more fun they have, the more fun you have, and you just feed off each other, and it makes it a great game.
Think of it like if you're buying a birthday present for a friend of yours. You put a lot of thought, effort, and time into what this person would like, and they enjoy the gift. So the players are basically the friend in this scenario, and you are the person giving the gift. If you're just giving them some random item, they're more likely to re-gift it or to take it back to the store for store credit. And that's what players do. They go, "Oh, this is a great magic item. Can't wait to get to town to sell it to someone, so I've got some gold that I can then use to do whatever." The magic item should have importance to at least one of the characters in your party. And when you give out magical items, give out items that will assist either the party as a whole or a specific character who may be weak in a certain way. So if a character is low in wisdom, you could give them a book of knowledge about a certain subject that's going to help them later on. So it's +5 to bridge building or something, Lo and behold, next mission, you got to build a bridge. Hey, we got a guy with a book of bridge building. That is the kind of thing that you start to think about the thematics and the story value of the actual object you're giving out. So the value to the character, the value to the player, and the value to the story. We want to use the word questify again You should questify the acquisition of these objects. Make it part of one of the things they've got to do in the story is find this magical item, wrest it from the monster, steal it from the burgomaster. You know, there's a variety of different quests that you can get them to do in order to get this thing, which will be useful for them later on. They need the Sword of Doom because it's the only thing that will slay the demon in the big castle at the end. So they've got to protect this weapon now. And that brings us to another point. It basically gives the characters and the players something to lose. Because when you gain levels with your character, you don't tend to, most systems, you can't really lose levels in things unless you're doing certain spells and that kind of stuff. But, and it depends on the game, but you can lose a magical item. It can be stolen, it can fall out of your hands, it can go missing, it can be dissolved by acid. There's so much that can happen that the players then want to protect this from loss. They don't want to lose a thing. It becomes critical to their character. You can't do that with random items.
I know I'm probably going to get bashed for this, but I don't really like just going into a shop and buying magic items. I actually like how 5e handles magic items, that they're much more special. They're much more special than they were in 4e. 4e, you got to pass them out like candy or the players aren't keeping up with the game, essentially. In 5e, you can be much more stringent and thoughtful with what you give out. Now, when you give out treasure, consider just giving out like light magic, like potions. Everybody can use some potions or disposables, scrolls and potions and that kind of thing. Give out that kind of stuff for the random treasure. Don't give out, unless it's story oriented, don't give out, those really special magic items that can really, help a character, because in 5e, it really kind of bumps it up. One thing that we do in our modules is we don't tell you what magic item to give. Like you get a lot of modules are like, oh, give them this and this and this and this. Well, maybe your characters don't need that, don't want that, or they already got that. To me, it's kind of a fool's game doing that, telling you what magic items to give out in your game to your players. I say, we say, oh, give out a magic item. Maybe we say give out a magic item that has a wisdom bonus on it or something like that, or a strength bonus. We don't tell you what it is. It could be a sword. It could be a belt, a girdle, a sash, a cloak. Whatever you want to give the player, that's up to you. We just suggest something, right? And I really actually like that way of doing it, because in written modules, I rarely ever follow what the module tells me to give. It's like I give what I think is appropriate for the players and the theme of the game, and will make the game better, and the players appreciate the game and become involved in it, instead of just some random junk magic item that they're not going to use or try to sell at the store. So yeah, back to the store, I really don't like selling the kind of story driven magic items that the players will buy, because they're going to tend to buy the items they wanted anyway. Why not give them those items through quests, and make them important to the story and to the character, as opposed to, and when you do it that way, it's not a store transaction, right? It's not just, oh, I bought this at a store or whatever. This is, oh, we made friends with this fearsome dragon, and the dragon picked this sword out for me, because he knew I like to just slaughter multiple enemies at once. So it can attack multiple enemies at once. The dragon knew this, right? And it gave me this sword. How cool is that? As opposed to, oh, I went to Dullard's shop of magic items and I bought this sword. That's not fun at all. It's not exciting. They got what they want. You're getting the same result. They got what they wanted, but when they got it from the dragon, they got a cool ass story to add with it. So, really consider this method of doing it.
Because that's forms part of the background of their character, and also forms, sort of the psychological background of the experience of playing the game, which they can then tell other people, this is what happened in our game. So I think that's very important, that questify the magical item. Now, another very important thing is the economics of the item. So the economics of that item is not so much how much is it worth, but it has a certain amount of uses, or it requires some kind of maintenance, or there's something you have to do in order for it to work properly. So an example was if you've got the Sword of Doom is perfect for slaying high-level monsters, but every time you hit someone with it and you do damage, you have to clean it, because otherwise it doesn't work anymore. So, it doesn't, the item itself, you don't need to then go and find magical flowers to rub against it and do all kinds of things. No, nothing like that. It's a simple, you've got to clean the weapon. That sort of recharge that you put in there, the economics of using the item, can be used very effectively in a game.
Another thing is making a magic item a MacGuffin. Okay, if you don't know what a MacGuffin is a thematic device where it doesn't matter what the thing is. The thing drives the story, right? And the classic magic item MacGuffin is the One Ring, right? They got to get the ring. They can't destroy Sauron. They got to get the ring to Mount Doom to destroy it, to destroy him. And yeah, that's becomes the driver of the story. It drives the whole story, and they can't use it because it's evil, and only certain characters can carry it. So yeah, that's a great way to have a magic item. So you could do that with all kinds of magic items in your world.
It doesn't actually matter what the item actually is. You may never even see the item. It's just the thing that everyone's chasing, And a great example of this is in the movie Ronin. There's all these spies that are trying to get the suitcase. There's something in the suitcase, but they never say what's in the suitcase. Everyone's hush-hush and tight-lipped about it. So you don't know what's in the suitcase, but you know that everyone wants it. And that's the important thing. Everyone wants it. So that's what motivates people to go after it. And so you could have this chest that's traveling around the land that everyone is trying to get their hands on because it has the magic thing in it. And that motivates the players to get this thing, and you can put whatever you like in there. It doesn't matter, because it's more about chasing this thing down and acquiring it than it is about what the item actually is. And then, of course, the players can then talk about themselves about what they think the item is, and you can kind of drop weird hints and rumors and things like that. That's cool, because you're getting feedback from the players as to what their expectations are, so you can go, well, that's actually quite cool. I can use that as an item. I can put that in this chest, because that will satisfy their wants. Could it be a bag of holding, because we really need a bag of holding? Could it be a deck of many things? Could it be all kinds of mysterious things? There's no way we could prescribe what it should be.
Give a magic item, maybe if you like the whole One Ring idea, give the magic item some bad curse to it, but it also will help you. So like maybe your character has to fight against this rage every time they use the item, or some other effect, like say Stormbringer, where if you're familiar with Michael Moorcock and Elric, where he's kind of addicted to this blade. Like the blade is awful. It steals the souls of his enemies, and it's horrible. And several times he tries to get rid of it, but he's so addicted to the power and addicted to the feeling of being connected with this blade and the energy it gives him that it's like a drug, and he tries to get rid of it and he can't. So that kind of stuff just makes the game really interesting, and using it as a MacGuffin to drive the story can be a really fun way to use magic items.
Of course, a magic item can be almost like a key. So Scotty talked about, they had to go to Mount Doom and they had to throw the ring in there. That sort of unlocks the ending of the story. They can't get to the real end, to the equilibrium in the environment, without performing this thing. You need the Sword of Doom to slay the demon in order to progress to the next part of the story, or to bring the story to a close, or something to that effect. It's the one key that fits the one lock in the door that opens the door to the next part of the story. And I think this is one key thing. I'm going to step away from this video for a moment and talk about the marketing of modules. And I don't know what it is, but other module makers have this thing where they must say it's like 5 new monsters, 12 new magic items, 6 new spells, We don't do that. You would have noticed now we've put out 5 modules. We don't do that. Why don't we do that? Because that's for you to do. You should be the one who's going, well, these are the monsters I want to use. These are the magic items I'd like to have in my game. These are the people I would like to add. It's your game, right? We don't want to be prescriptive. That's not what we're about. We want to be descriptive. We want to give you story events to happen, and your players can add their value. You can add your value and use our modules as a catalyst for that. And I just want to say that that's how we set ourselves apart. We are different from other modules, and if you haven't read or played one of our modules yet, we encourage you to at least try one of them. You can have a look at our website. You see what the starting point is in terms of price. Our Kickstarter on September 1st, you know, all these things. Our content is about giving you choice. You know, Scotty will tell you, I will tell you, lots of other DMs will tell you they buy modules so that they can get ideas or take the module and completely rewrite it to their own ends. We know that that's what people do because we do it ourselves. So we thought, why give you all these things that you're just going to go, I'm not going to do this, I'm not going to do this, I'm not going to do this, and give you what you really want. And that's something that's going to get your players to invest in a world, to invest in a story that's going to keep them coming back. And for us, that's super important. And if we were to say, give them a bag of holding, we don't know if that's what's going to be beneficial to your players. They may already have 5 bags of holding. And it's like, oh, we did all that for this? You know, that would be terrible. So that's why we don't put that kind of stuff in our modules. And I just wanted to sort of kind of like take this step away from the video and just do this unique selling proposition. This is how marketing, this is how it works. So I apologize for that for our regular viewers already playing our modules. Yeah, we know that already. Come on, move on with the story. I apologize. Let's move on.
Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed the video, and make sure to check out questgivers.com to check out our modules. Make sure you get on our mailing list, and don't forget, we are going to have a Kickstarter on September 1st, so check that out when it hits. You guys take care, and we'll see you next time. Gareth?
Tell us what you think in the argument section below. See ya!